defense. This is Drake. He's in. Touchdown. As Carr throws for the end zone. Touchdown. Raiders. Second down and goal for the Eagles. What a play. Max Crosby. Yes, it was number 98 Crosby breaking through. He just jumped over the offensive line to make that play. I haven't seen that in a while. That was a tremendous partner in crime and Ngakoue. My goodness, the motor hasn't stopped.
Let's go. Five wins. Just getting started. Let's go. Ready to make some house.
What's going on, Raider Nation? Man, it's been a rough week, y'all. Dang it. Just when we're riding so high, down to the depths we go, man. How's everybody doing out there? I see Raider Joe. I see Raider Joe Jr. And I see Mike. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, it's been a rough week, just considering what happened with one of our players, but it doesn't change the fact that we're on a mission this year. You know, it just makes for a better movie at the end of this year on how we were able to accomplish what we did.
Yep, you said that well, Joe.
Yeah, seeing everything that we've gone through, and we're still on top of the AFC West at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, second in conference, so.
Yeah, it's just tough, man. On the football side and on the family side.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, I feel for him. I feel for what's happening because what happened with our star receiver Ruggs, our former star receiver Ruggs. Obviously, we have to talk about it, although we don't want to talk about it. The young kid being dumb. All right. Yeah, I know he didn't want it to happen, but he made a dumbass decision. And if I were to sit here and say I've never made a dumbass decision, then I would be struck by lightning right now. I've just been lucky enough not to get caught. So I don't condemn him for what happened. I don't condone it, but I don't condemn him. He just was doing a foolish thing, and the most horrific thing happened that could have happened, and he killed somebody, and he just basically ruined his life along with his family, along with the family of the person that died life, you know. So it's like a bad dream, and it's a nightmare, and like Carr said, we got to support him, but you know, at the end of the day, there's still a job to do. You know, they still get paid to do a job, and they got to try and put this distraction aside, just like they did with the Gruden distraction, and go from there.
Yep. And how you doing over there, Mike? We see Raider Mike's in there. He's in the hospital. His baby's in the hospital. Shout out and prayers to her. So
so I'm gonna step through and record over here real quick. I don't want to interrupt the nurses. So now we're in the bathroom.
I like it.
So anyways, all right. So here's my real quick synopsis or my thoughts on it or whatever. You know, I take a different approach to it as far as my thought process on it. I mean, obviously, this is the SoCal Raider Report. We're intricately concerned with the well-being of the Raiders and players, and right. So I'm understanding of that. But in a situation like this, my first thought and my first, you know, concentration and effort is on, you know, that poor young lady and her dog, but, you know, more importantly, the young lady who lost her life that night. It's not up for me to judge Ruggs or anybody else for that matter. That's in God's hands when it's all said and done. But I will say that I'm not personally letting them off the hook that easy. I've made them decisions, just like Joe has mentioned, but you know, somehow along the way, I didn't do anything to that degree, right? So, you know, I'm holding him accountable for what he did. And my first thought is not about the Raiders. It's not about that young man. It's about that young lady whose life was taken from her. And of course, her family who has to deal with the aftermath of that. Okay, that's aside. That's my first thought, my first priority of thinking. Next is the fact that this kid was an up and coming star, was just starting to break out, and he ruined and didn't only take her life, but now his life is pretty much ruined. Okay, so that's also very tragic, right? And it's a second or third order effect of his decisions, his bonehead decisions that, yes, a lot of young people make. This one's going to have life-lasting effects. Okay, now to the Raiders, right? Because, hey, Gruden is just a coach. He's gone. We showed that we can move on and we can be resilient. Unfortunately, we can dwell on it, which we all agreed on. We shouldn't. Now let's focus on the Raiders. The Raiders are still very capable. Like Joe Jr. said, top of the AFC West still, despite all these things that are happening. So what needs to happen for us to have a shot at the playoffs and beyond is for us to move past this. And that's what we got to do. And the Raiders have to do is they got to move past this, and they got to say, okay, just like a life or not a life, but a career or a season-ended injury, it could have been that with Ruggs, right? So we got to look at it like that. Next man up. Okay, how are we going to adapt and overcome to this from this? So that's my take on it.
Yeah, that's a good take, man.
I'm real happy with the next man up. Zay Jones, all they say is he's the hardest working guy on the team, and he's going to be taking that wide receiver 1 position. And a good thing about Derek Carr is that he didn't only throw to Henry Ruggs. He didn't only throw to Darren Waller either. He spread the ball thin. Our team was the only team that had 3 wide receivers with over 200 passing yards.
Yeah.
4.
4 wide receivers.
Yeah. And I think Edwards is just starting to break out too. He's just starting to actually make some big plays, and Derek Carr looks like he's a little more comfortable targeting Edwards as well. So yeah, you're right.
This is little Joe said it good. This is Zay Jones' time. It's time for you to step up, and time for him to step up and let the Raiders know that they either need to sign somebody else or they got their man already. So we'll see this Sunday.
Yeah, man. The timing sucks. I mean, I'm going to be traveling to the East Coast with my brother for the game. In our own family, it's terrible. I've gone through this with my family and friends and even myself, and been in accidents, and, was just like you said, Joe, just so fortunate that, if anything, one thing is you screw yourself up, but this when you hurt somebody else, an innocent person, it's just so brutal, man. And so, like, I woke up, I just felt like, just like with Gruden, I felt like, God, this is happening to my family. I don't know why. That's just disgusting to think, but most of the people probably move on and like, okay, it's whatever. He's an athlete. That's what he gets. But I don't know what it is, man. I with the Raiders, it just feels like family, and it hurts. I just put myself in their position and Ruggs' position, and say, Ruggs' girlfriend and everything. It's just so painful to me. It's just, that's why I didn't want to go on and on about it, and we'll just kind of move on from it. But, I really liked Ruggs. I felt like Ruggs was our, I felt like he was finally our Cliff Branch that we've been missing for so long, and it changed. He was changing things for the offense. He's opening so many things up, but it's over. So you got to just accept it. And just like with Gruden, you just got to move on. And, they're going to play a game on Sunday, and I'm privileged enough to go and travel with my brother, and looking forward to that. And hopefully I really do think we'll get into the game in a minute, but I really feel like the Raiders are the better team, and I feel like they're going to win this game. And even like Derek Carr said, they haven't had any time to process this. They came in that next morning, they had to go to practice, and they had to prepare. They're professionals, and so I give a lot of credit to Carr, the way he talked, the way
if anybody in the entire league does not agree that Derek Carr is the MVP, then they're full of shit, man.
Yeah.
The guy that's been through everything and still is playing at the top of his game, still is keeping the team focused. I mean, if they're in the playoffs and they make a run in the playoffs, if you're not voting for him for MVP, then you don't know football. You don't know what it takes to get men together to play together and keep their mind focused on the game. You know,
absolutely. And again, it's so hard because we're coming off a great bye week. We didn't do a show last week. We just let it roll for the bye, and I put the highlights of the game. It was I think that was our most complete game, even though the Denver game was great. Man, that game against the Eagles was so complete. It was such an awesome victory, man. That's just what we've been wanting to see for so long.
Because I was there, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Good luck, house.
Yeah,
that was awesome, man. I'm gonna try to put a couple clips you sent in there as well because that was amazing. Looks like Coca-Cola hooked it up, man. Yeah. Tremendous. What'd you think of the stadium game day, by the way?
I thought it was pretty amazing. I thought, I mean, not pretty. I think it was really amazing. I felt I was at home. Obviously, anytime we go to a Raider game, we're at home. The thing is that it's going to take some time that you saw. I knew Philadelphia was their fans travel good, but when you're in Oakland, it's all Raiders, right? Because nobody travels to Oakland to go watch their team.
Okay.
But now that we're in Vegas, it's a destination for Vegas. People want to go to Vegas, so they look at the schedule and say, when does my team play in Vegas? Oh, we get to play in Vegas. Let's go watch them. So I think we're gonna have to combat that. There was a lot of Eagle fans. I would probably say,
are they chirping?
I would probably say 25%, 30% of the fans were Eagle fans. But they were pretty quiet after that first drive. They got their touchdown that first drive. After that, it was silence, and you didn't hear much from them at all the rest of the game, which was cool. We shut them up, and that's what we got to do. Wherever we play, whoever we play, we got to either keep the crowd in it when we're at home and take the crowd out when we're out. So it was great. It was a great environment. Vegas really did it up. The stadium is second to none, and can't wait to go back again.
Were you in one of those suites, or were you where? Because you look like you're in that really cool lounge area. You look like you had. Is that what it was?
Yeah. So we had that lounge area. You remember when we did the stadium tour?
Yeah.
And there was that whole lounge area with the bar, their own bar, and
Modelo.
Yeah, this was the Modelo suite, the Modelo, whatever it was called. So we were there.
You sure that wasn't the presidential suite, Big Joe?
No, it was Modelo. It was Modelo. I forgot but it was Modelo something. And
the Valdivia suite.
Yeah, we had our own bar. Our seats were regular seats, but we had our own area where we could sit down on couches and stuff if we don't want to sit in the seats. So it was a good time, man. It was a really good time.
Man, I'm glad that you got to experience that, man. And I was so excited for you. And it's. Again, it's a sad thing that happened this week, but life goes on. We didn't do this. It's not our fault. It's weird, man, but we're gonna move on, and we have so much to play for. The Raiders have to play for. So let's get into it. The news of the week for the Giants was all these false COVID tests. That's just a sign of the times again. They had 13 guys show up on the COVID list. The next day they all came out. False positives. That's just the state of the nation right now. I hate to say it, but there's so much crap going on with that. But looks like Saquon Barkley is out. I'm hearing he's out. I watched them play the Chiefs. Me, I scouted, and that looked like a team that they'll do one good thing, then they'll shoot themselves in the foot. They almost look like us 2 years ago. I just don't see a way that we're going to lose this team. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think for me, going to the East Coast, we typically don't travel too well to the East Coast. Last year we played the Jets and probably played one of our worst games of the season, but found out a way to win because we were playing the worst team in the history of football. So
their games,
yeah. But I think we are proving that we're a different team this year, and we are the better team. And before this Ruggs thing happened, I felt that we were going to win easily. And still doesn't change my mind after the Ruggs thing. I think we clearly are the better team. You got the Giants that are not only not a very good team, but they're kind of reeling right now. To your point, Barkley's out. Their two starting, hey, sweetheart. Their two starting receivers are out. The starting guard is out. So they're hurting just as much. Just like Mike said, if Ruggs would have just got injured, it really wouldn't be talked about too much. But because he kind of messed up his career, people are talking about a lot. So, but going into it, just looking at what we have, we're probably the healthiest that we've ever been since I can remember. So let's go out and get it. That's all I can say.
What do you say? What do you say, Junior?
I agree. I definitely think we're going to win. I think we're going to win this game. They should have beat the Chargers last week, but they beat themselves with so many mistakes, in which I just see them. So I see them doing the same thing. I need to fix myself with those ums. But the Raiders are more of a complete team. Even without Ruggs, we still have Zay Jones. Zay Jones is still a very, very good receiver. There's talks about us signing Deshaun Jackson, possibly Odell Beckham Jr. There you go. I would prefer Deshaun Jackson because of the contract requirements. Like, it's like $3 million for Deshaun Jackson, $8 million for Odell Beckham Jr., and they're putting up around the same numbers. So, down for Deshaun Jackson. If we sign it, we don't need to sign anybody, but with the amount of wide receivers we have right now, I think it's 3 going into this game. If we don't bring up, did we bring up Stoner?
Yeah, we brought up Stoner.
And then we also signed Marcel Aitman to the practice squad.
Mm-hmm. Is Mike still there?
Yeah, Mike too.
What do you think, Mike? What do you think about the game on Sunday?
All right. I'm right here with my daughter, so hopefully she's going to get discharged today. So say hi, Victoria.
Hello.
Say hi to Raider Nation. This is SoCal Raider Report. This is what I do once a week when I take off and I yell at you to be quiet. All right. What's the name of that quarterback for the Giants? What's his name again? Jones. Yeah, there you go.
Andy
Hey, I watched the game. Yeah, I watched the game too last week, and I know I haven't really followed him, and I know I can't make a total judgment based off one game, but he looked like crap. I mean, he was just miscuing, panicking. They had a great opportunity to come back and win the game, and I thought they flat out blew it, right? That can happen to any team, so I get that. But yeah, I think that we are in a very good position despite multiple pieces of turmoil that are going down. I don't see a reason why we don't come out here. But like someone noted earlier, I think especially now we're a little short-handed or light-ended on the receiving end, then that's even more motivation to establish that running game. I think we win the game. I don't have a score prediction. I'm just going to say that after what happened in the last, 48 to 72 hours, getting out of there with a win is paramount.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones. Here's how bad he was. Daniel Jones made the Kansas City defense look good. That's how bad he played last week. So
exactly. I was going to say, you always read my mind, Joe. And the Raiders defense, it's crazy to say this, but it is way, way better than Kansas City's defense. I would not be shocked if we end up with a I would pick up their defense right now. I would pick up their defense right now in fantasy football. Raider defense going to feast. Their line's banged up. They don't have a good line. You have it?
I got it.
Beat down on my brother last week.
Also happened too.
Oh, that was a beat down. But hey, yeah, you're right. I think Raiders defense is going to shine, man. And it's going to be beautiful weather. It'll be in the 50s. It's not going to be cold. I'll be on site, and I'll be putting some videos in for next week's show. And it's going to be a victory, baby. I know it, and we need it right now. The time for healing come again, and we're going to continue to heal. And I think it's going to be a great victory for the Raiders. And not to look too far ahead, but then we got KC rolling into Vegas on a Sunday night next week. So
I think I think Kenny Drake is going to have a big day tomorrow, or a big day on Sunday.
I think you're right. I think, it's all those guys are Alabama boys. Him, Jacobs. They're really probably taking it hard. But the best way to shake out of any difficult situation, this has been my life lesson, guys, is getting into your work, man. When you got tough things going on at home, you got tough things in your personal life, man, just getting into your work and going, man, it really helps. It really, really helps. So I think that's the cure-all right now for the Raiders. And for us fans, it's just to enjoy the game, get together, man. We've talked about it. We've been venting, we've been texting, we've been dealing with it. And I think we're on the right path. And, again, my pure condolences and sympathy to the family of the young lady that lost her life. My condolences to Ruggs' family and even himself. We can't, keep your prayers up for that young man. I hope he doesn't do anything crazy and hurt himself now. He's just going to have to live with this. He's going to have to grow from it. He's going to have to learn. And it's a great lesson to if any of my students are watching this, you guys. I just would always remind you, just be so careful when you get behind the wheel of a car, man. It's such a deadly weapon. But one thing is driving down the street, buzz, and you hit something, but 150 miles an hour, something was wrong. That guy had a death wish. And terrible. But, what can you do?
Yeah, and then if you guys probably didn't watch that, but John, Reasonable John posted the court appearance for his initial bail arraignment or whatever. And the judge, the prosecution, the DA wanted a cool $1 million for the bail amount, but the defense put up a pretty good case about his contributions to charity in the Las Vegas area as soon as he came on board with the Raiders, and the fact that he has zero other criminal history. And the judge, the judge saw it the defense's way, and he got out on $150,000 bail. So that's really good, but he had to come up with that 150, which we know he has. And one of the arguments on behalf of the defense was like, hey, he's no longer employed, because the prosecution wanted to say, like, he's an NFL player, he has the money, we need to max him out, kind of. And the defense was like, hold on, he just got released. So that financial security is not as well as it was, a few days ago. So, and that's good. He's going to be monitored. He's not going to order not to drink, order not to drive. But at least he's going to be out. And I know I haven't been as sympathetic and empathetic as you guys are. But I am. When it comes down to it, I know, like, that could have been any number of, any one of us or people that I grew up with. I've made that mistake. This is unfortunate all the way around. It's unfortunate. But hey, Derek Carr really put it down and said it best. He needs love right now. And if no one else is willing to do it, I'm doing it. And that just speaks to the character of Derek Carr. So I am going to be very eager to see how Derek Carr can lead this Raiders team deep into the season, into playoffs. I can't wait for the game on Sunday. And honestly, I can't wait to see KC, because that's where I really feel like we need to shine.
Absolutely, man. All right, guys. Anybody else want to add anything before we go?
Yeah, I'm doing a quick score prediction.
All right.
I think it's going to be 28-17 Raiders.
Okay. Joe, you want to make?
I got it 37-21.
37-21. All right. I'm kind of like Mike. I don't really know, man. I can't really read this. I couldn't read the game last week either. I didn't know what to expect with Waller out and everything else. But Waller's back, so I expect us to win and win. At least I predict we'll cover the spread. That's what I'll say. We'll cover the spread at least. So, all right, guys. Mike, again, prayers to your daughter. Hopefully everything's cool and you guys get out of there soon. She can get back to school and everything else. And you guys, wish a safe trip. Yes, sir.
We wanted to go ahead and say something real quick to the SoCal Raider Report. Ready? 2, 3. Come on, you're acting all embarrassed now? Okay, you're going to say it from the background. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Raiders. Say it.
Yeah, that's a good girl.
Say Raiders. She's not getting all brand new, but she wears that Raider gear. She's Raider Nation too.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
What grade?
Put it away. Second grade.
Great. All right. Well, hopefully, like I said, be back at school soon and everything will be better.
We're literally waiting for them to come in and say, okay, that last test was good. You guys are out of here. So we should be out of here tonight. And if so, we get home in the next, I don't know, couple hours, then her butt's getting up and going to school because she's missed since Tuesday.
And no.
Well, actually all week because they gave her Monday off. So she hasn't been to school all week. So
All right.
enough. Okay, cool.
Thanks again, man. Shout out to Steeler John. Hopefully he's all right, and we'll see him next time. You guys, God
Oh, yeah.
bless. See y'all next week.
Go
Peace out.
Raiders.
Peace.